Imagine standing on the edge of a wind-swept cliff, looking out over an ocean that did not exist when your ancestors first walked this land. Long before the great ice sheets melted, a massive supercontinent dominated the southern hemisphere. This was Gondwana, a colossal landmass that once joined South America, Africa, India, Antarctica, and Australia. Over millions of years, the Earth tore itself apart, separating these regions with thousands of miles of deep, unforgiving saltwater. Yet, when we examine the ancient ruins left behind on these now distant lands, we find something that defies all logical explanation. We find identical megalithic building techniques, matching astronomical alignments, and geological anomalies that suggest our ancestors were far more connected than modern history admits. This is not just a study of history, but an exploration of a forgotten global network. A network that was established when the southern oceans were narrower, and the memory of the ancient supercontinents was still fresh. By looking at these sites as interconnected nodes of a single prehistoric science, we can begin to reconstruct the map of our lost past. The journey is long, the questions are heavy, and the implications are profound. Let us begin our exploration of these silent giants. Could a single, highly advanced global civilization have existed before the continents drifted into their current positions? Or did a seafaring culture traverse the wild oceans during the last ice age, mapping the stars and raising monuments of impossible scale? Mainstream historians tell us that these structures were built by isolated, primitive tribes using nothing but wooden rollers, copper tools, and sheer human muscle. But when you look closely at the colossal weight of these stones and the mathematical precision of their alignment, that story begins to collapse. Let us journey into the deep time of our planet to explore 10 ancient monuments that suggest the history of human civilization is far older and far more mysterious than we have ever been told. Our journey begins in the vast red heart of Australia, on the ancient continent of Sahul. Here, a silent arrangement of stones holds a secret that predates the great civilizations of Europe. But before we uncover this celestial clock, we must ask ourselves what other secrets are buried beneath the volcanic soil, waiting for the right moment to challenge everything we know about our past. In the volcanic plains of Victoria, Australia, lies the ancient site of Wurdi, Youang. This is not a towering temple or a grand palace, but a simple, egg-shaped arrangement of about 100 basalt stones. To the untrained eye, it looks like a random collection of rocks. But when astrophysicists surveyed the site, they made a startling discovery. The major axis of the circle is aligned almost perfectly from east to west, and the stones point directly to the positions on the horizon where the sun sets during the summer solstice, the winter solstice, and the equinoxes. Geologists and researchers estimate that this site could be over 10,000 years old. If this age is correct, it means the first Australians built a highly accurate astronomical observatory thousands of years before Stonehenge was raised in England, and long before the first stone of the Egyptian pyramids was carved. The people who built Wurdi Youang were not simple wanderers struggling to survive. They possessed a deep mathematical understanding of the heavens and a complex relation to the land. They mapped the movement of the sun, the moon, and the stars, embedding this cosmic knowledge into the very earth. How did they achieve such astronomical precision without modern tools or writing systems? The local oral traditions speak of the dream time, a period when creator spirits shaped the landscape and gave the people the laws of the land. Could these stories be a memory of a time when humanity possessed a different kind of knowledge? A science that did not rely on machines, but on a profound connection with the universe. As the sun sets over the basalt stones of Victoria, casting long shadows across the red earth, we are left to wonder how many other ancient observatories lie hidden in the vast Australian outback. But to find the next piece of this global puzzle, we must cross the vast Pacific Ocean to the high altiplano of South America, where another set of stones challenges the limits of human engineering. High in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, more than 12,000 feet above sea level, lie the ruins of Puma Punku. This site is a puzzle that has baffled engineers, stonecutters, and archaeologists for generations. Scattered across the high-altitude landscape are massive blocks of red sandstone and gray andesite. What makes Puma Punku unique is the sheer precision of the stone cutting. The blocks feature perfect 90-degree inner corners, straight grooves that look as though they were cut with modern power tools, and precise circular drill holes. The stones fit together like modular building blocks, designed to lock into place with incredible tolerance. Some of these blocks weigh over 130 tons. To move stones of this magnitude at an altitude where the air is thin and resources are scarce would be an extraordinary engineering feat today. Yet, we are told that the ancient Tiwanaku culture carved these stones using handheld hammerstones and copper chisels. Andesite is an incredibly hard volcanic rock, and trying to cut it with copper is like trying to cut steel with butter. Our investigation now takes us to the ancient lands of the Middle East, to the sacred site of Baalbek in modern-day Lebanon. Here, beneath the ruins of Roman temples, lies a massive stone foundation that predates the Roman Empire by thousands of years. In the base of the Temple of Jupiter, we find 3 colossal stones known as the Trilithon. Each of these 3 stones weighs an astonishing 800 tons. To lift and position a single stone of this weight is a task that requires the largest modern industrial cranes. Yet these stones were raised 20 feet above the ground and fitted together with millimeter precision. Further in the quarry nearby lies an even larger stone, often called the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, which is estimated to weigh over 1,000 tons. It remains partially buried in the dirt, as if the ancient builders were suddenly interrupted. The official archaeological view is that the Romans moved these stones using wooden cranes and rope systems. However, calculations by modern mechanical engineers show that the sheer quantity of ropes and the size of the wooden structures required would have collapsed under their own weight. How did a pre-Roman culture transport these massive blocks from the quarry, which lies on a lower elevation, up a steep slope to the temple site? The local legends of Lebanon attribute the construction of Baalbek to a race of giants, or to the biblical figure of Cain, who built it as a city of refuge. These myths, like the stories of the Australian Dreamtime, speak of a world before our own, a time when the rules of gravity and construction were different. Baalbek stands as a monument to a scale of building that has never been repeated in human history. When you run your fingers along the smooth, laser-straight edges of the Puma Punku blocks, you realize that the official explanation is simply inadequate. The stone shows no signs of manual hammer strikes. Instead, it looks as though the rock was molded or cut with a high-speed mechanical saw. How did an ancient culture in the high Andes achieve this level of manufacturing precision thousands of years ago? Some researchers suggest that the stones were not cut at all, but rather cast using a form of ancient geopolymer concrete. If true, this implies a chemical knowledge that was lost to history. The ruins of Puma Punku remain silent, a monument to a technology that should not have existed. But this is not the only mystery in the Andes. For just a short distance away, a massive mountain fortress guards a secret in its giant foundations. Overlooking the historic city of Cusco in Peru, the fortress of Sacsayhuaman stands as a monument to scale and complexity. The walls of this ancient complex are built in a giant zigzag pattern, constructed from massive limestone blocks that fit together with organic precision. The largest of these stones is a gargantuan block that weighs over 128 tons and stands more than 28 feet tall. The stones are so perfectly shaped and fitted that you cannot slide a single sheet of paper or a knife blade between them. The builders did not use mortar. Instead, they relied on the complex interlocking shapes of the stones to keep the walls stable. This engineering choice was highly effective, as the fortress has survived major earthquakes that leveled modern Spanish buildings in Cusco. To achieve this level of precision, each stone had to be custom carved to match the exact contours of the blocks around it. The process of shaping, transporting, and fitting these stones is a logistical nightmare. The quarry from which these massive limestone blocks were extracted is located miles away, across deep valleys and steep mountain ridges. How did the ancient builders transport stones weighing over 100 tons across this rugged terrain? They had no horses, no oxen, and no wheeled vehicles. The official story claims that thousands of men pulled these stones using thick ropes made of llama wool. But the physics of pulling a 100-ton block up a steep mountain slope suggests that this would require more men than could physically fit around the stone to pull the ropes. Was there a method of softening stone, as some local legends suggest, allowing the builders to mold the rocks into place? Or did they possess a lost technology of levitation or acoustic movement? The massive walls of Sacsayhuaman continue to stand, defying the passage of time and the explanations of modern science. To find the next link in this prehistoric network, we must leave the mountains of South America and travel to a remote corner of the Pacific Ocean, where a city built on water tells a similar story. Off the eastern shore of the island of Pohnpei in Micronesia lies Nan Madol, a ruined city built entirely on coral reefs. Known as the Venice of the Pacific, this ancient site consists of nearly 100 artificial islets constructed from massive, column-like basalt rocks. The total weight of the basalt used to build Nan Madol is estimated at over 250,000 tons. The basalt columns are natural geological formations, but they had to be quarried from the opposite side of the island and transported to the coral reef. Without draft animals, metal tools, or the wheel, the builders managed to transport and stack these heavy stone logs, some of which weigh up to 50 tons, to create walls that rise over 30 feet high. The logistics of building a city of this scale in the middle of the ocean are staggering. Local legends tell of twin sorcerers who used magic to fly the stones through the air, placing them into position. While science dismisses magic, it has failed to provide a viable physical explanation for how these massive stones were transported across the water. Did the builders construct large wooden rafts? Or did they take advantage of lower sea levels during a time when the geography of the Pacific was very different? The city of Nan Madol is currently sinking into the ocean, its stone walls slowly being reclaimed by the coral reefs. It stands as a silent witness to an era when humans possessed the ability to reshape the coastlines of remote islands. The mystery of these basalt structures leads us further east across the ocean, to a lonely island where giant stone figures look out at the horizon, waiting for a return that never came. In the middle of the South Pacific Ocean lies Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island. This tiny, isolated island is famous for its giant stone statues, called moai, which stand watch over the landscape. There are nearly 900 of these statues scattered across the island, carved from soft volcanic tuff. While many people are familiar with the heads of the moai, excavations have revealed that these statues have full bodies buried deep beneath the soil, indicating they are far older than previously thought. The largest moai ever erected, known as Paro, stood almost 33 feet tall and weighed over 82 tons. Another unfinished statue in the quarry, known as El Gigante, would have stood over 69 feet tall and weighed an estimated 270 tons. The official narrative suggests that the islanders moved these massive statues by rocking them from side to side using ropes, a method described as making the statues walk. However, attempts to replicate this with larger statues have resulted in damage and instability. Furthermore, many of the moai were placed on top of massive stone platforms called ahu. The stonework of these platforms is remarkably similar to the megalithic walls of Cusco and Sacsayhuaman in Peru. The stones are finely cut and fitted together without mortar, showing the same organic interlocking patterns. How did two isolated cultures, separated by thousands of miles of open ocean, develop the exact same style of high-precision masonry? Could there have been a maritime connection between South America and the islands of the Pacific during prehistoric times? The statues of Rapa Nui, with their elongated faces and mysterious expressions, offer no answers. They continue to gaze at the sky, guarding the secrets of a lost seafaring nation. To understand the scale of this ancient grid, we must travel north to the fertile valleys of Mexico, where a city of gods was built to mirror the heavens. In the Valley of Mexico lies Teotihuacan, the city of the gods. This ancient metropolis is laid out in a precise grid system that covers over 8 square miles. The entire city is oriented along a central axis known as the Avenue of the Dead, flanked by massive pyramids, including the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon. The alignment of the city is not random. It is calculated to match the positions of the stars, particularly the Pleiades constellation and the cycle of the Sun. One of the most intriguing mysteries of Teotihuacan is hidden beneath the stone floors of its temples. During excavations in the early 20th century, archaeologists discovered thick sheets of mica buried between the layers of stone. Mica is a silicate mineral that is highly resistant to heat, electricity, and radiation. In the modern world, mica is used as a high-performance insulator in electrical equipment, thermal shields, and space technology. Why did the builders of Teotihuacan bury tons of this insulating material under their floors, where it could not be seen. The mystery becomes even more profound when we look at the origin of the mica. Chemical analysis revealed that this specific type of mica did not come from local quarries. It was transported from a source in Brazil, over 2,000 miles away. The logistics of moving tons of fragile mica sheets across 2,000 miles of dense jungle and mountainous terrain are mind-boggling. What was the purpose of this insulation? Was Teotihuacan merely a ceremonial city? Or did it function as a massive electromagnetic collector, harvesting natural energy from the earth? The presence of mica suggests a technological purpose that defies our understanding of ancient Mesoamerican civilizations. The search for the origin of this global knowledge leads us back to the water, where a submerged monument off the coast of Japan hints at a time when the world was mapped in detail. Near the southern tip of the Ryukyu Islands in Japan, off the coast of Yonaguni Island, lies a massive underwater stone structure that has sparked intense debate among scientists. Discovered by a diver in the late 20th century, the Yonaguni Monument is a colossal stone structure that measures over 250 feet long and rises 75 feet from the ocean floor. It features flat terraces, sharp 90-degree angles, straight steps, and circular holes that resemble post holes. Many mainstream geologists argue that the monument is a natural formation, shaped by wave action and tectonic activity. They claim that the sandstone layers of the region naturally fracture in clean lines. However, other researchers argue that the sheer concentration of precise geometric features in a single structure is highly unlikely to be natural. They point to what appear to be carved paths, stairways, and even a stylized face carved into the stone. If the Yonaguni Monument is man-made, it must have been constructed when the site was above water. The last time this region was dry land was during the last ice age, at least 10,000 years ago, when sea levels were over 300 feet lower than they are today. This would mean that an advanced civilization existed in East Asia at a time when humans were supposedly primitive hunter-gatherers. The existence of a submerged monument of this scale suggests that our ancestors lived through a period of dramatic climate change and rising sea levels, which swallowed their cities and erased their history. The memory of this lost world survives only in legends of global floods and sunken lands. But to see the most famous monument of this ancient science, we must travel to the deserts of North Africa, where the greatest pyramid on Earth still stands. On the Giza Plateau in Egypt stands the Great Pyramid, the only remaining wonder of the ancient world. Built from over 2 million stone blocks, it is a masterpiece of precision and mathematics. The largest stones in the pyramid are the massive granite beams used to construct the ceiling of the king's chamber. These granite blocks weigh up to 80 tons each and were transported from the quarry of Aswan, located over 500 miles to the south. To transport and lift these massive stones to a height of over 140 feet inside the pyramid is a feat that would challenge modern construction crews. The precision of the pyramid's alignment is equally astonishing. The structure is aligned to true north with an error of only a fraction of a single degree. This accuracy is difficult to achieve even with modern satellite technology. Furthermore, the dimensions of the pyramid incorporate the mathematical constants of pi and the golden ratio. If you multiply the height of the pyramid by 2 pi, you get a value very close to the perimeter of the base. This indicates that the builders had a precise knowledge of the shape and size of the earth. According to the Orthodox historical view, the Great Pyramid was built as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu over a period of 20 years. However, this timeline requires the builders to place one multi-ton block every 2 minutes, day and night, for 2 decades. This level of efficiency is impossible without advanced machinery, computer-assisted logistics, and a constant supply of energy. If the pyramid was not a tomb, what was it? Some researchers believe it was a giant power generator, utilizing the natural frequency of the Earth and the flow of water beneath the Giza Plateau. The scale of the pyramid is matched only by a temple in India that was carved directly out of the living rock. In the state of Maharashtra, India, the Kailasa temple at Ellora stands as one of the most incredible architectural achievements in human history. Unlike most temples, which are built by assembling stone blocks, the Kailasa temple was carved directly out of a single volcanic basalt cliff. The builders worked from the top down, excavating a massive horseshoe-shaped courtyard and carving out a multi-story temple complex, complete with intricate pillars, statues of deities, and internal chambers. To create this monument, the builders had to remove over 200,000 tons of solid basalt rock. A single mistake during the excavation would have ruined the entire structure, as there was no way to replace the carved-away stone. The temple is covered in detailed carvings that depict scenes from ancient epics, all executed with flawless precision. According to historical records, the temple was built during the 8th century under the patronage of King Krishna I. The construction is said to have taken less than 20 years. This means that workers had to excavate and carve over 20,000 tons of hard rock every year, or about 60 tons of rock every day. They had to achieve this using only chisels and hammers.
Basalt is one of the hardest stones on Earth, and carving it by hand is a slow, grueling process. How did they achieve such speed and precision? Did they possess a method of softening the basalt, or did they use tools that have since disappeared from the historical record? The Kailasa temple remains a testament to a level of craftsmanship and engineering that seems almost superhuman. But as we search for the limits of ancient stone moving, we must turn to a forgotten quarry in China, where the largest stone ever carved still lies. In the Jiangsu province of China, near Nanjing, lies the Yangshan Quarry. This site contains the remains of a megalithic project that dwarfs almost every other monument on Earth. During the Ming Dynasty, in the early 15th century, the Yongle Emperor ordered the creation of a massive stele to honor his father. The project was designed on a scale never before attempted. The monument was carved in 3 separate pieces: the stele base, the stele body, and the stele head. If assembled, the stele would have stood over 240 feet tall. The largest of the 3 pieces, the stele base, weighs an estimated 16,000 tons. The body weighs nearly 6,000 tons, and the head weighs 3,000 tons. To put this in perspective, the largest block at Baalbek weighs 1,000 tons. The Yangshan stele base is 16 times heavier. The project was suddenly abandoned, and the giant blocks were left in the quarry, still partially attached to the mountain. Even with modern technology, there is no single land vehicle or crane on Earth that can transport a 16,000-ton block of stone across rugged terrain. How did the ancient Chinese engineers plan to move these blocks from the quarry to the imperial tomb miles away? Did they plan to use water channels? Or did they possess a method of transport that has been completely forgotten? The abandonment of the Yangshan project marks the end of the age of giant stones, leaving us with a monument that was too massive for even its creators to move. It stands as a reminder that there was a time when human ambition exceeded the physical limits of our world. When we look at these 10 monuments scattered across the globe, we see a pattern that transcends geography and time. From the stone circles of Australia to the fortresses of Peru, the ancient builders left behind a message written in stone. They showed us that humanity once possessed a level of technological and mathematical knowledge that defies our current understanding of history. These structures were not the result of primitive labor. They were the work of a global civilization that mapped the Earth and the stars, leaving behind monuments that would survive the ages. As we continue to search for the truth, we must be willing to question the stories we have been told. Thank you for exploring these mysteries with us on Ancient Dreaming. Your journey into the deep past is just beginning. If you want to help us uncover more secrets of our lost history, please subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications bell, leave a like on this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is the true origin of these global monuments? Until next time, keep searching the skies and the stones. The evidence is written in the very stones of our planet, waiting for those with the courage to look. The similarities in engineering are too precise to be coincidence, and the astronomical alignments are too accurate to be accidental. We must look beyond the boundaries of modern academic orthodoxy and listen to the ancient voices that speak from the dust of the outback and the peaks of the Andes. The truth is out there, waiting to be uncovered, one stone at a time. Thank you for walking this path with us, and we hope to see you on our next expedition into the unknown.